Hello, I'm Mihaela GOLOGAN from the University of Economic Studies Bucharest and with my colleagues Florina and ATANASE. Today we are going to present our research regarding leveraging digital transformation for small family-owned business Refinement, a case study of a boutique hotel. Probably you already know that digitalization is here to stay and has started many years ago, especially for the big companies. It was for them a very good advantages for the clients. But unfortunately, today is a must for any company, no matter which is the dimensions, small, big, and so on. So our case study will prove how to engage in digital transformation by overcoming the barriers and having real results that help also the company, employees, and society. And no matter how difficult it is, we can overcome the fear of change. So small hospital business must do this digitalization because it's a way for them to achieve the success, efficiency, productivity, explore client needs, and so on. Also, no matter how difficult it is, this change, it's a way to overcome. And during our case study, we are going to show you how to do that. Firstly, we want to share a little bit what we found out during the literature review, and we discovered that the digitalization had some factors that are influencing some internal and external factors. Internal factors, it's linked to the need of implementation. That means some risk management. Risk can happen of not succeeding or not achieving the results that we had expected at the beginning. This means that a lot of preparation is necessary in order to overcome the situation. Also, exists a way that is necessary to prepare from the point of view of the technology to adapt the local infrastructure, software or hardware, and also to ensure that the moment that technology is adopted represents something that is useful for the future user, for employees, and for the clients. Something very important that affects digitalization is the trust, the confidence that in fact each digital app that it's implemented represents a way that makes the job easier for the employee, makes easier for the communication with the customer. From the point of view of external factors, we have the legislation, some policy and guidance that give the companies some guidance how to adopt digitalization, which platform, what is the minimum requirement in order to respect the legislation. Also, external factors linked to technology. A lot of technology are available out there and makes for the company difficult to understand which one is proper for them and which is the partner that can help them to implement and achieve the success. Also, we take a look in more detail to literature review from the point of view of hospitality industry. Some of the points that I am going to explain you today are not only for hospitality, you can find also in other industry, but especially in hospitality, it's very important to check. And the most important is that hospitality means services. Services mean communication with clients. So the main goal of a service company, hospitality, means that we have a good attention to customer needs from the point of view of digital. And if the clients is open and ready to adopt digitalization, also becomes a must for small companies for hospitality in digitalization adoption. Secondly, it's the employees, also special for hospitality. We have a lot of employees, we don't have automation. This means also employees should be open to adopt digitalization, and this is possible to do through continuous improvement. From the point of view of external, two factors are mainly important for hospitality. This means legislation. And here are some areas that legislation usually is covering. By example, how to ensure software compliance and also what taxes are needed to pay and investment rules, because many of the companies don't have the budget necessary and they need to obtain these financial resources outside the company. This means from bank and from different authorities. So also this part of legislation is very well described and the company should respect. The last point that I have here today for you is regarding the greenwashing. Digitalization means in the same time improving the sustainability of the company. Unfortunately, this was very easy to do by the big companies because they have the budget to implement and they had the possibility to really obtain sustainability to offer maybe eco products. But in reality, for small businesses, is not so easy. That's why exists a tendency of some small businesses to be greenwashing. This means that they advertise like being green, but in reality it's not like this, or just partially. By example, a product is eco, but it's prepared in not such a sustainable way. So if greenwashing is adopted, unfortunately for the company, they at the beginning they see a big influence, they see the change, they see an advantage, but later, even if the authorities they penalize them, or then if the customer finds out about the situation, the trust is lost, and it's something that is very difficult to obtain again. For our case studies, we had choose boutique small family business hotel, and in order to make our research, we use interview that was done with owners of the companies, and this was done using 20 questions. The questions were divided into six main areas like family collaboration and decision making regarding digitalization, employee involvement and communication, resource use for implementation, technology adoption, and the benefits achieved after digitalization. Regarding our case study, it's very important for you to know that the company has started digitalization 15 years ago. They started something very simpler, invoice digitalization, and this was even a long time ago before the invoice was imposed by authorities. Immediately after this had come the signature digitalization. These 2 points were very linked. And secondly, they had adopted some digitalization into customer, and this was linked to self-check-in and self-check-in out system because it was something very easy for the clients to adopt, and they were able to do the check-in check-out in the hotel if the queue was long, or doesn't matter where they were around the world. And linked to this, they helped a lot to implement something very new, is the QR system for entering the room. Usually when you go to the hotel, you have the key or the card. Here, because of the self check-in, it was easy to have a QR, and you could open the door with this QR on your phone. And this change was not done immediately. Even they had fear a little bit about the employees. The owner of the companies, they had trained the employees, so the adoption from this point of view was easy, but they had difficulties from the point of view of financial, because even they had a lot of idea, they were not able to implement very quickly everything. They had to do it step by step. They had also difficulties in understanding which is the proper technology for them in order to match with the budget to the authorities' request and also to clients' need, and to have something that was there to stay, not to change one year later. Security was an important element because they work with personal data of the customer. They need to be secured. Something very special for our case study is the location of our hotel, because sometimes the internet is not working very well, so they need the possibility to upload the data also offline, and in the moment they connect online to make the transfer of the data. They had to continue digitalization, and something that was very important for them to adopt was CRM and ERP, because like this they could reduce the human errors that was very fragment. Also, it was easier to interact with the client, to have their feedback, but supplementary they had obtained different advantages like reduction of paper use. They estimated after 15 years that they had reduced 70% of the paper use. And something very special for the owner is that they have access to information immediately, and this makes them easier to adopt the decision. Today, digitalization had not stopped in this company, it's still continuing. They still struggle with some activity, administrative. They had shared with us that, especially this difficult document management, even the documents are online, still they have issues because they don't have automation. So it's still time to improve in digitalization. In conclusion, you had seen that with efforts we can succeed in adopt digitalization. We had to succeed to overcome difficulties like financial, technology, resistant to change, because the owner of the company has been open to change, to adopt digitalization, and to try different things that were available on the market. Something very important for them, it was that they had been one of the first adopting digitalization. As this, they had time to adapt, to change, and to prepare the employees, to prepare the customer, and so on. Overall, it's very important for you to know that our research is, even is presenting just a case study, it's an open door for you to continue our research. And in any case, this case study confirms that digitalization is here to stay, even for small businesses. Even here, it can be adopted digitalization and obtain great results. And the results are for all parties. This means the owner, the employee, the customer, and even for communities that obtain sustainability, safety, and even performance. We thank you a lot for the attention that you had given us today. Me, Mihaela GOLOGAN, and Florina Anastasi from the University of Economic Studies in Bucharest. Thank you, IBIMA. Thank you to our professors from the university.